You are Locked On Tigers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And we welcome you into a live Locked On Tigers Postcast. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. Formerly with 97.1 The Ticket, the flagship of the Tigers. Now with Locked On Tigers and the Locked On Podcast Network. It's a nice day baseball game at Comerica Park. The weather was nice. It was a close game throughout until the Tigers struck for 5 in the home half of the 7th and cruised to the 7-2 win to avoid the sweep. We're going to talk about that 5-run 7th inning and a big day at the plate for Justyn-Henry Malloy at the home run and a big 2-run double. Really good to see there. All said, it was a nice outing on the mound for Casey Mize as well. So we'll break that down. But as always, we thank you for making Locked On Sports Detroit your post-game destination after the final out, after the final whistle, whatever it may be. Hop on YouTube and join us because that's what it's all about. So if you're joining us, get the comments in. We'll get to those in the opening segment as always, but just want to stress how much we appreciate you making Locked On Tigers Postcast, in this case, your first listen after the final out. Free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, on YouTube, it's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is made possible by, that's right, the one and only Tax Network USA. Did you know it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. So if you were like me, you're watching this game and not all too eventful at the beginning portion of the contest. 1-1. Tigers take a 2-1 lead in the home half of the 6th off of Justyn-Henry big fly. And I do mean big fly. It got out of there in a hurry, which was great to see because Justyn-Henry Malloy had an opportunity with a couple of men on. I think it was the bases loaded earlier in the game and had a bad strikeout. So he bounces back, big fly, second of the year, first at Comerica Park, got out of there in a hurry, landed well up the left field bleachers, one of the further home runs that you will see, and just shows the pop in the bat that he has, which is great for a young player and all the high expectations that we have for Justyn-Henry Malloy. But a really nice home run from him to give the Tigers a 2-1 lead. And you're thinking, all right, come on, bullpen, get us on home. And we know that's not exactly what happened. So immediately following the Tigers taking the lead, the Nationals come back with a run of their own in the top of the 7th. But again, to give this ball club some credit in a game that they had to have, having already lost the first 2 games of this series, the Tigers come back and blow it wide open with a 5-run 7th inning. And this is, how many times we've talked about this? This is just not the offense that puts up a lot of crooked numbers. So to string together that many hits and do it without any home runs there, impressive stuff in the bottom of the 7th inning, and really makes you feel a lot better about the conclusion of this series and the day baseball game before you hit the road for 3 with Houston and 3 more with Atlanta. So again, I know it's only one game. I'm not here. It doesn't eliminate all the problems that we've talked about, especially that came to light the last couple of games in the beginning portion of the series against the Nationals. But today was refreshing and good to see the Tigers get a win. And I never thought I'd be turning to my pal and former colleague Jeff Rieger for optimism when it comes to the Tigers. But he tweeted out, if the Twins lose later tonight, Tigers are 3 games out of a playoff spot. So maybe you take that. If you do the old blindfold test, if we would have told you on June 13th that the Tigers would be 3 games out of a wild card spot, would you sign up for that? Let me know. But in all seriousness, it's disappointing as the first game of this series was, and then to lose again yesterday, to come back and grit your teeth and scratch out a win today meant a lot of good things. So, all right, we got a ton of comments. My goodness. All right, I'll quit blabbing and get right to the people. We got Jason Walter leading us off. Winning is fun. We should do that more often. Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know what else to say other than ditto, fist bump. Absolutely. Winning is a lot more fun. It's fun to talk baseball, and it's fun to watch an offense that gives you the chance to win. And it wasn't anything crazy in the 7th inning. Again, we're going to go through that here in just a second, but it was, of all people, Kreidler with a single the other way, and then Vierling with the single, and then taking the extra base, going first to third, and doing the little things right. And it helps to get, I don't want to say luck, but that's just the nature of baseball. Riley Greene hits a weak ground ball, but it's a seeing eye ground ball that gets a run home. And then Justyn-Henry Malloy does the damage with the extra base pop. And Andy Ibáñez, of course, that's the one I'm missing too, with the RBI double that was sprinkled in there. Mark Canha with the sac fly. So just productive at-bats strung together one after another, and you start to wear down the opponent's bullpen. Good stuff there. David Chafin, I think the pitcher shouldn't get the win if he blows the lead. Yeah, that's a good point, because technically I think winning, and this is probably a whole different, not to be disrespectful to those analytics guys and the baseball nerds. Sometimes they whack out about this stuff, and there's just so many different ways to evaluate the success of a pitcher. Casey Mize certainly deserves the win for his outing. 6 innings, just 4 hits, only 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, and 1 walk. So that certainly warrants a win. But because Shelby Miller blew the lead, but he was still the pitcher of record, he gets the win. So I'm not going to get overly concerned about it. And I think the higher the level you go, and maybe, you could disagree with this, because I think guys like Max Scherzer, for example, is competitive about statistics. And I would even say Verlander too. Some of the greats will, no, that's my win. I need to have that win. And I don't know whether or not Casey Mize is wired that way. But I think that comes with the territory as a starting pitcher. That just there's going to be games where you don't get the win that you deserve. And today was a perfect example of that. But it is a good point from David Chafin. Adam Cullum in the comments, my man from Lansing Catholic. Nice win today. Jay Hen was good today, and he deserves my player of the game award for today. One concern I had is Washington Nationals pitcher Patrick Corbin has the worst ERA in baseball. Yeah, Patrick Corbin, not good. And he still was able to shut down the Tigers. That was the same with that series against the Marlins. As a team, the Marlins had one of the worst ERAs in all of baseball, and they shut the Tigers out for what felt like 30 straight innings. Demetrius McNeil, my man, that's more like it. Much needed win. Real quick, is the NBA Finals over tomorrow night? I love Demetrius is always trying to sneak in other topics here. That was a tough fall to watch the Mavs in Game 3 there, with Luka picking up his 6th foul and flopping around, and Brian Windhorst just went off on Luka on ESPN. But this is not a Locked On NBA. Just make sure you check out the Locked On NBA shows, Demetrius. I'm sure they will touch on it more than we will here on Locked On Tigers postcast. But I think the Celtics wrap up the sweep. But all right, we'll continue working through the comments here. Broder manufacturing runs, baby. Yeah, I'll add to that. What a concept. And that's what I said in the open, where I don't want to make too much of one game in a season of 162, but this is where, depending on how your brain works, it can be so frustrating, because that it's in there as far as looking at this offense. And I'm not here to sell you on this offense, because I really don't believe that this offense has, the pieces to do it on a consistent enough basis. That's why we've been calling for more help for this offense, for the front office to do something even prior to this season. And Scott Harris and company just refused to address it, which is why we're left with this type of offense. But then at the same time, when they go out and do what a major league offense should, and you get the pitching you did from Casey Mize, bullpen, I'm not going to give Shelby Miller too much kudos, because he did give up that 2-1 lead, but it all works together as a system here in generating wins as a baseball team. And that's what you saw today. You just want to see it more often than what the Tigers have been able to do, especially as of late, having lost their last 2 series, first to the Brewers and then to the Nationals here. So I would classify it as a disappointing homestand. And the Tigers just really haven't played great baseball at home altogether for the whole season. You look at their record, and 2 games under 500, 33-35, but 16-19 at home, compared to a winning record on the road, 17-16. Certainly not egregious splits by any means, but worth noting that they haven't played their best baseball at Comerica Park. Oh, Adam Colum, Andrew Chafin struck out the side. I may shed physical tears. Yeah, in the low leverage situation and low stress situation of a 5-run lead, Chafin looked pretty good coming out of the bullpen. No, I don't want to take anything away from him. It was good to see the bullpen just get those last couple of outs, but really, I think you chalk this win up to a nice start from Casey Mize and the offense doing their job, especially in that 7th inning with keeping the pressure on the bullpen, wearing the Nationals bullpen down, clutch hitting, and just continuing to, pass the baton. I know that's a cheesy cliche in baseball, but just keep that lineup card moving. And that's what you saw in the 7th inning. Nobody tried to do too much. In fact, it was a single here, a bloop single there, a sac fly by Canha, taking the extra base by Ibáñez, and give him credit with the pinch hit double. And it was against a righty, even on top of that. And then Justyn-Henry Malloy as well, showing some extra base prowess and power at the plate. Good stuff all the way around. So we will talk more about Justyn-Henry Malloy's big day at the plate, as well as Casey Mize. Nice start. Don't go anywhere. That's coming up next on Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. Oh, yes. Today's show is, in fact, brought to you by our friends over at, that's right, brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks. How about that? Keeping you on your toes. That's right. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks. You simply pick more, you pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks is easily the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. I, in fact, do play it every single day. And, it's one of those things that maybe I'm on my phone too much. I get those screen report comments or screen time reports often. And ever since I downloaded Prize Picks, it's more and more and more, which is because I'm picking more or I'm picking less on 2 or more players, stats for a shot to win up to 100 times my cash. I mean, what gets better than that? You simply can't beat it, because with Prize Picks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. And you know what? We all watch sports, so might as well make the most of it with Prize Picks. You can, in fact, customize your Prize Picks, and most of them take as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. How about that? Prize Picks even offers injury insurance so that your lineup stays in play even if one of your players gets injured. For baseball games, if you have a player who registers 2 plate appearances or less, Prize Picks will have your back and not count that as a loss, because they care about you. That's right. Prize Picks, they love you and they care about you. You can't beat it. So join the millions who already play Prize Picks. Don't wait. Find out for yourself. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Once again, if you weren't paying attention, this is all you need to know. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. It's real simple. You pick more, you pick less. It's that easy. Today's show also brought to you by our friends over at Policy Genius. Now, we talked about some things that are important here today, but none more important than life insurance. Because let me tell you, life is unpredictable, and I don't want to scare anybody, but things happen that are outside of our control. So let's go ahead and prepare for it with life insurance. Take care of your loved ones with the right policy and the right life insurance to support what might happen down the road that is unexpected or outside of our control. And Policy Genius helps you do exactly that. Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. It makes choosing the right policy for you and your family easy and quick. They respect your time. We know time is precious, but at the same time, they're thorough enough to help you find the exact policy that you need. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year. Not that much, and that provides $1 million worth of coverage. Some options are 100% online and let you avoid the unnecessary medical exams. Look, I don't try to get too serious on this show, but I've had some things happen in my life. Lost my mother, lost my father. Life insurance is a part of that security net that you need to help secure those important things in life. And with Policy Genius award-winning agents, they can walk you through the process step by step. And you know what? You might say, hey, I've got life insurance from my workplace, and that's fine, but it is worth double checking to make sure you are as covered as well as you think. Your work life insurance policy may not offer enough protection for your family's needs, or even worse, it may not come with you if you take a different job or, God forbid, lose your job. So that said, take a couple of minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that, half hour, whatever it may be. Speak with somebody from Policy Genius. They'll walk you through it. They'll shop tons of different carriers so that you know you're getting the exact right fit for you. They have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google, so you know you can trust them, as well as Trustpilot from customers who found the best fit for their needs. So get peace of mind by finding the right life insurance with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com or click the link in the description. Get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you can save. That's policygenius.com. All right, we're having fun on a Thursday afternoon, a little getaway day for the Tigers as they head to the state of Texas, the Lone Star State, deep in the heart of Texas, to take on the Houston Astros for a weekend series, and then to Atlanta to take on the Braves. And nice little pitching matchup on Saturday. I believe it'll be Flaherty versus Verlander, but we'll double check that because I think the Tigers need to officially announce that. So let me just pause on that. But that said, we'll be with you throughout the weekend for Locked On Tigers postcast immediately following all of the games. So make sure you tune on in. All right, other things to get to on the program today. I mentioned Justyn-Henry Malloy, and it's very early, whether it be some of his at-bats where he didn't look so good. I think what we saw today helps reassure that the pop and the power is alive in that bat. And when he barrels up baseballs, look out, they can leave the yard in a hurry. And again, this is not to crown Justyn-Henry Malloy, but it's just to make note of the encouragement that we saw today at Comerica Park with the 2-run double. And then, of course, the home run that broke the tie initially, one of his better games in a Tiger uniform in a very, very small sampling size. But my goodness, how nice would it be to see Justyn-Henry Malloy pan out as that big bat in the middle of the lineup that we could certainly use. 2 more hits today, 3 RBI, had the 1 home run, his second of the year. And I will also add that it just feels like he has the makeup of a big leaguer. He has the charisma, just the sense about him that the moment's not too big for him. And again, this is a very, very early sample size, so I will pump the brakes a little bit on it. But at the same time, it's such a welcome sight because I saw the list. Somebody tweeted out a list of just Tigers prospects that, not even prospects, guys that played for the Tigers over the last couple of years that just didn't pan out, and they're in the minor leagues. I mean, the list is a mile long, and then I stopped reading because it was depressing. But I don't think we're quite there to just crown Justyn-Henry Malloy a staple on the big league roster. But my goodness, I loved what I saw from him today. Curious what you think as well. Let me know in the comments, and we'll continue discussing some Detroit Tigers baseball action here on Locked On Tigers postcast. And if you want more of the conversation, don't worry. Locked On Sports has got you covered. That's right, because they've launched a 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and it's now available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus national shows covering every league. So Demetrius, if you want some hoops action, check out that Locked On 24/7 channel. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV channels app. All right, there is more to get into, as well as looking ahead to the road trip, because let's be honest, it's a portion of the season. We're into the dog days of summer, June 13th, and still kind of early summer, to be honest. But the thought of the Twins losing later tonight and the Tigers being 3 games out of the playoff spot is kind of exciting. A wild card spot, albeit. But let's not scoreboard watch too much, and let's relax a little bit with the playoff talk here, Jake. I'm talking to myself with it only being in early June, but given some of the struggles this team has had, I think they've continued to tread water, try to stay relevant, and it's not quite at the portion of the season where we joke about it, then say the season's over. There's no point in continuing to tune in. So as always, appreciate everybody tuning in. The comments, the questions, the concerns, all of it is welcomed with open arms as the Tigers salvage one game from the Nationals in the 3-game series with a 7-2 win this afternoon at Comerica Park. Tigers now 33-35, Nationals 32-36. And for what it's worth, the Houston Astros, who the Tigers will play next, certainly have not gotten off to the start that they had envisioned. They've battled some injuries. They've battled a lot. Every team's battled injuries. And same with the Braves, who the Tigers will play after that. There's some missing pieces, of course, with the injuries that the Braves have suffered as of late, and they're not really playing a great brand of baseball by any means. In fact, the Nationals swept the Braves just recently. So maybe some opportunities to get a little momentum going on this 6-game road trip. We'll look ahead to that and discuss Casey Mize's start as well, because I can't believe I haven't gotten to that yet. So hang with me. One more segment to go here on Locked On Tigers Postcast. All right, today's show brought to you by Tax Network USA. Just got to visit tnusa.com/lockedon or call 1-800-549-1000, because let me just tell you a little something. Here on Locked On Tigers Postcast, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news, reactions, analysis, post-game coverage. No matter what it is, we're giving you that effort as much as we've got year-round on Locked On Sports Detroit. And you know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this offseason and you need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. Let me tell you one more time, tnusa.com/lockedon. That's tnusa.com/lockedon. All right, we tie a bow on it with the Casey Mize start because I thought he was really good. And there's been some concern with Casey Mize, especially as of late, and there's always concern, but 6 innings, 4 hits, and just the 1 earned run, struck out 4 through 84 pitches, 56 of them for strikes, and that ERA now at 4.43. I think you take the good with the bad with Casey Mize a lot of times, and he hasn't, again, just like Torkelson, that former first overall pick, you'd expect him to, hoped anyways, for him to kind of rise onto the scene a little bit more. And I know the injuries, and that's all part of it too. But anytime you see Casey Mize dealing, you get that hope and excitement that maybe he can be that guy and maybe he can be a solid member of the rotation. And today was an example of that. So again, was it perfect? Absolutely not. He deserved the win, a quality start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. And this Nationals offense isn't the most lethal by any means, but I'll tell you what, they take the extra base, they run the bases aggressively, and Casey Mize did a good job of keeping them off the base paths and essentially just giving his team that opportunity to win the game and pitching deep into the game. Well, deep, let's relax a little bit, but pitching 6 innings into the game, which is nice to see. So Casey Mize for the Tigers doesn't get the win today, but you could make the case he certainly deserved that win. And I think, and I don't know if everybody's like me with this, but when you think about looking ahead to who the Tigers got next, it always starts with that that pitching matchup and who will the Tigers send out. And we know about Tarik Skubal. Every fifth day, the Tigers have a great opportunity to win because he's pitching. That'll be Friday night, and he'll go up against Hunter Brown, who, oddly enough, went to Wayne State, pitched at Wayne State in the heart of Detroit. So a little, not really a reunion, if you will, or homecoming for that matter, since the game's being played in Houston, but against his hometown team. How about that? He's a Detroit guy. Jack Flaherty, Verlander on Saturday. That will be a fun one. I would have loved to see Skubal and Verlander, but obviously with Flaherty's delayed start with the back tightness. Good that he didn't have to go on the injured list and that he's back in the rotation. But selfishly, a Skubal Verlander duel would have been must-see TV, as they say. And then Maeda will go on Sunday against Spencer Arrighetti for the Astros. And then the Tigers will be in Atlanta on Monday. So Skubal going tomorrow. You like to think the Tigers have a chance to get that game and get the series off to a good start in Houston. And after that, it becomes about winning. I mean, Saturday too with Flaherty, because he's been really good, but, still kind of some question marks since he had to kind of disrupt his routine with the delayed start. So hopefully he will bring his A game, put his best foot forward. Because like I said, the Astros and the Braves to a much lesser extent, but neither one of those teams are playing particularly great. And the Astros especially have not gotten off to the start that they had hoped to. So maybe, just maybe, this Tigers team can get back to 500, because that's the next step, 2 games below 500, and then start stockpiling some wins as we move here through the month of June. But that's going to do it for me. As always, thanks so much for tuning in. We had a great postcast yesterday with a lot of participation, and for a day game today, a lot of participation as well, which we so appreciate. So I actually happen to love the day games, not to get derail the train or anything or get sidetracked, but something about day baseball, even if it's just during the week, I certainly enjoy it. But tomorrow night's game, remember, Central Time with Houston, so it'll be 8:10 Eastern first pitch. Saturday is 4:10 Eastern first pitch, and then 2:10 Eastern first pitch on Sunday. So a little bit later, but regardless, we'll be on the air afterwards to chat about the Detroit Tigers, because what gets better than that? But I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't yet, subscribe to Locked On Sports Detroit. This is your home for all things Detroit sports, post-game coverage, and for the Locked On Tigers postcast. Make sure you're checking out Locked On Tigers on the daily with Scott Bentley. What a tremendous job he does. I enjoy listening to that day in and day out. A regular, if you will. But as always, thanks so much for tuning in. And tell a friend about Locked On Tigers postcast if you haven't yet. Born Cool, shout out to you, my man. Sneaking a comment in there at the end, making sure that you're with us, one of our regulars. Shout out to Adam Colm as well, Broder, everybody that we've got in the comments, Demetrius McNeil, David Chafin, Jason Walter. That is what makes the post-game fun, is commemorating and bouncing ideas off one another, collaborating, whatever you want to call it, engaging, connecting, all that good stuff. That's what makes it fun. So we certainly appreciate that. Tigers win it 7-2 over the Washington Nationals, now 33-35. 16-19 at home. They hit the road now for a 6-game road trip, beginning with 3 against the Houston Astros. We will talk to you after the final out of tomorrow night's game with Tarik Skubal on the mound for the Tigers. That should be a good one. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon and a wonderful day on Friday. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. So long, and as always, and Mary Jo Isaacson, of course, she's a regular. That's right. How could I forget? She's always tuning in. Shout out to my grandmother, Mary Jo Isaacson. She's the best. Love her dearly. All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Appreciate you guys. And as always, go Tigers. Nice win today. Let's hope they can use this for some momentum. Tigers win it 7-2 over the Nationals. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.